Uh, yes, I guess I'll talk about it a little bit. I might make a full, more in-depth video later down the road, I guess, about this situation. Well, not situation, but I guess why people think, well, why St. Louis, I guess, rap scene or music scene is not as big as, I guess, like in Atlanta, New York, and other bigger cities like Atlanta, New York, Chicago, New Orleans, Houston, California. Like, why the St. Louis music scene is not as big, I guess you could say. Like, there was a point in time where Nelly had like the mainstream thing by storm. I supposed to be making a video about that situation of him, I guess, getting sued by the St. Louis tapes. I think he sold his rights to his music for like 50 million and he didn't cut. I think it's 50 million. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me on that. But Nelly sold like a lot of his publishing and masters, I guess, to one of these, I guess, rich people, elites, I guess you could say. I guess use his music in like movies and shit later down the road. So upfront price for I think it's 50 million. I could be wrong. And I guess St. Louis takes and get I guess a cut of that. I might make a video talking about that. I really don't know too much about the whole situation. Who knows? I might react to it. I think people made tons of videos about it. But yeah. Give me 1 second. I grab my water real quick. I'm gonna speak for experiences. Well, I'm from St. Louis, obviously, if you haven't known by now. But I'm gonna speak for, I guess, music producing me experience. Because for those who didn't know, I still do make beats. But I took a little break on it. But back in the day, like, I'm gonna say the reason I got to like 3K subs on this channel is made because of beats, uploading beats and tutorials and shit like that. But that was like online shit. Like, I was building up a beat scene online, which I'm gonna give you to my one reason number one why I feel like St. Louis music scene is not as big compared to other cities and states is ego. I think a lot of artists, now these up and coming rappers out, especially out here, have an ego for some reason. Like, there's a few examples, and I'm giving out this is like my personal experience of what I've been noticing. Back when I used to go to a lot of these guest studio sessions and stuff like that. Which we're gonna bring that up too. We're gonna talk about that also. Yeah. Egos. The only reason I bring it up, because it was like one point, I forgot what the time frame, it was like a couple years ago, I guess, like one of these up and coming rappers that they really had like a big following. Like, hell, like I said before, I built up a following online, and I had more of a platform than a lot of these up and coming rappers that was trying to make it into the scene. No disrespect to like the rappers that's up and coming that's still grinding out there, but this was years ago. I don't know if like the rapper is still rapping, but I remember him having a big ego. He was like egoing people, like, bro, you have over 1,000 followers, and he asking me that have a bigger following, and I'm pretty sure I made more money off of selling beats online than that artist, but there was egoing people and shit like that. I don't know why. I feel like that happens a lot with a lot of these people that's up and coming rapper, and they tend. I can't say they don't work with each other. I can't say that. But then again, who knows? I don't really don't know. I hear. Let's get one thing. Let's backtrack. There's a music scene everywhere, but music scene, is it big to, like, guess people will actually support each other? I'm gonna give Atlanta a perfect example, because I heard stories, and I heard tons of stories and videos of how a lot of these like artists and producers, they go to the same studios. These big name artists and producers, they go to the same studio and they collab. And that's one way how Atlanta always support each other in a sense. And I really don't see that as much out here in St. Louis. Like, I break like 30D. I know this guy personally. This song actually kind of fire. I don't think I can play it. I don't want to get hit with a copyright claim. Either I probably could get it on a copyright claim by talking to his team and shit like that. But yeah, the reason I break up Dirty D, because I know the guy personally. I knew the guy before he blew up, I guess you could say. And I guess what, they're gonna get to my reason number two. It's gonna all tie in together, I guess you could say. But Dirty Deep, I'm gonna say Smino and Sexy Red. They probably like the three well-known rappers as artists in St. Louis. I think Sexy Red's like the biggest because she's actually pushed by, I guess, the label or the machine, I guess you could say. Hey, it's crazy to see Drake right here. But yeah, plus she got some bangers too, I think. Yeah, she got some bangers. But I remember what, especially them two, Like what they stand out a little bit more, I guess you could say, just because they music didn't sound the same. Like a lot of artists I do hear, especially out here, they kind of sound like they from like Atlanta, Chicago, like with the pain music, but they not really standing out. But I know that could be a internet thing. I think a lot of artists do that, especially they blew up off the internet. But I do remember some of the songs that he made stand out. Smino's definitely stand out. Like people compare, like if you get shout out from Erykah Badu, your music stand out. Sexy Red is Sexy Red. Like she's hot. Let's see how I look on these. I think one of my favorite songs. Know that I would say this. Some of the songs that did blow up was on that negativity shit. But then again, is it really a negativity shit? Like I said before, like we products of our own environments. Like St. Louis can be a shithole sometimes. Well, depends where you live at. Like the hoods are hoods, legitimately out here. I'm old enough to experience a lot of that shit. All right, I think one of my favorite songs is "It Sounds Different" as Rockstar that he made. I think I even told him this. Like this is like one of his best songs he probably made, and the song sounds different. Yeah, I can't play none of his music, but Rockstar. I remember. Yeah, look at that. Blackie Speaks. Surprised this ain't even hit two. This is 4 years ago. Man, shout out to Blackie Speaks. I'm a big fan of Blackie Speaks content, by the way. Yeah, as you can tell by the thumbnails. I be copying a little bit. I'm gonna change my own sound up. But like I said, these are one of the songs that a lot of people could relate to. It sounds different. He should need to get back into more in this bag. Personally, I think. But one of the songs that actually blew up is like, I guess the negativity songs. I guess you could say. But then again, a lot of those negativity songs, it sounded different and don't sound like the norm of the 808s, the trap sound. But I think that's the internet thing. If you know who Smino is, he's very aware of his sound of music and Sexy Red. I'm pretty sure there's probably more St. Louis artists people gonna probably put in the comment section that I probably don't know of. Hey man, I'm only one person at the end of the day, but I know this guy personally, and I'm very aware of Smino and Sexy Red. I know she's from the north side. But I think that's a little bit one reason, and I guess I'll get back to, the artists don't really work with each other, shit like that. This is like me going around to studio sessions like years ago. Rappers do collab, but like I said, it's like an ego thing that goes on that happens for some reason. This is from personal experience. Somebody can actually explain to me, or is there an ego problem? I know there's a lot of beef and drama with a lot of rappers and artists. Here, I think one of the songs that he blew up off, it was like a diss to a lot of his, I guess, his ops and shit like that. I don't know the whole situation now, but I do remember they squashing a lot of issues and they was gonna try to collab and shit. Try to build up the St. Louis music scene more. If I remember correctly, this was like years ago too. This is like before he got locked up and shit. And Smino and Sexy Red. I know somebody gonna say Metro Boomin. Again, I make beats and I'm actually from St. Louis, and everybody knows St. Louis. Metro blew up in Atlanta first. I think that's probably obvious. That's obvious. That's a lot of music producer documentaries that explains that. That's why Cat is catting real quick. But yeah, I think that's a reason. Egos, I think people don't really collab as much, I think, and people they all kind of sound the same, which I blame the internet to a sense. The artists that people keep sending to me, I'm pretty sure it's artists probably that does stand out and shit like that. But like I said, I do live in a bubble most of the time, and I really don't be tapped in. As I get older, I really don't really get tapped into a lot of music crap. I like listen to my same old music most of the time. All right, what else? There's another reason. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Now, I think this reason is more of the street artist type of thing. It's one of those situations where I didn't believe it till the situation happens to you. It's one of those situations you don't believe it till it happens to you. And me was going to school for like computer science, cybersecurity shit. It made me realize that makes more sense. But I think this happened everywhere, especially in the bad neighborhood, in all the hoods throughout the United States, but there is a informant issue. There's a CI issue, confidential informant issue. But I think that's everywhere, personally. Again, I didn't believe it till I actually studied it and found out what a goddamn forest surveillance. Again, I'm gonna keep bringing this up in every video. Intelligence Surveillance Act. Pretty much, they can snoop to your shit without warrant, which I think is a good reason how this man got locked up wrongfully and was being targeted. And I feel like a lot of quote unquote street artists are being targeted that way. Personally, out here in St. Louis, I think it is. Like, if this shit happened out here, and I could point that shit out, and I kind of was going to school for some of this shit like this. Like, I know this shit is probably even worse in the north side, out here in the city, because I've been bitching, complaining about this like for years. West side, like all the hoods, pretty much. I'm pretty sure there's articles about this, but it's called a FISA, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or Section 702. I think that's another big reason why a lot of street artists are probably getting spied, though, I guess you could say. So the Fed's probably trying to prevent for any more artists to blow up in St. Louis. That's my personal opinion. Why the music scene, mainly the rap scene, is not as big as Atlanta, St. Louis, not St. Louis, Atlanta, Houston, New York, Chicago. Even though Chicago is like worse than St. Louis, but rappers are blowing up in Chicago. And you can't really blame the BZA rap about, because you got to think about it. St. Louis is a hellhole. There's videos of people breaking out like St. Louis being one of the most dangerous cities in the United States. It came like number one murder capital in the United States because of the environment we grew up in. Now, I ain't trying to get all goddamn history lesson, because you probably know, if you read books, you know how our communities came what they are today. You can bring the crack in the 80s era and shit like that. Like, people know. If a black person in common sense know why our hoods are hoods, I guess you could say. So I guess we're a product of our environments. And people don't really want to believe that. That's why I know people be making videos like criticizing Sexyy Red because the shit the music she raps about the ratchet shit. But you gotta think about, we're products of our environment. And plus, being from the North Side, I heard stories about Sexyy Red for a lot of family members that stayed out there. Like, a lot of shit she raps about is like, most of it is true, allegedly, I guess you could say. I ain't trying to be federal. Smino, like 30D, you know, all the street shit he raps about. Like, he grew up around that shit. I used to hang around, and that man was telling me stories and shit like that. But like I said, I think that's like some reasons why I think St. Louis music scene is not as big. I should put more thought into this damn video and made it more professional, I guess you could say, so the YouTube algorithm could catch it. But yeah, I think that's like one of the main some reasons why the music scene is not as big as other areas. The feds play a big role in it. Not the police, the feds. The feds play a big role. Personally, I think artists have egos. This is like, for a music producer standpoint of me building up my name online on music producing and trying to shift over back into like building up my city type of shit. But as I got older and all this bullshit started happening with me involved with the feds, it kind of halt a lot of that shit. So feds, ego, and I think the lack of collabing, personally. I know there's like, I be seeing on Instagram like Metro is trying to like put on some St. Louis artists and shit like that. There's actually a chick I think I follow. She was on Metro Boomin soundtrack. I know she was on that Spider-Man soundtrack. I forgot her name. She had a song with him and A$AP Rocky. I forgot the name of it, and I actually forgot her name. But like I said, these, like, personally, I know that's like the biggest artist in St. Louis currently, personally. Sexyy Red is obviously mainstream. Smino, you know who Smino is. And Dirty D, and which most of them, especially Dirty, it seems they have their own little sound. And Sexyy Red be dropping bangers. But yeah, it's not gonna be too much thought in it. I'm pretty sure somebody from St. Louis could actually give me some more thoughts or their in-depth reason why I guess the St. Louis music scene is not as big as the other cities and areas. Again, I could break down the whole Fed situation. Matter of fact, there's a video I made somewhere on my channel breaking down how he was being targeted by the feds. Cause I know this guy. Yeah, I used to work with this guy. And The situation happened to me like not too long ago. That I had to backtrack and remember it had like a Jimmy Neutron brain blast moment. And remember, like there were CIs at my workplace. Yeah, I didn't know. But like I said, my cat is catting. That means I gotta clean our damn litter box. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Somebody gives some reasons. I'm pretty sure there's more reasons. I know more reasons personally, but this is more of a music producing me standpoint. Again, I know there's rappers it's rappers everywhere, in every state, city that's trying to build their name up. But who is really standing out? That's the question. But as I'm leaving it at that.